Yes, lads, what's going on? Welcome back to another video, and this is Premier League Roundup Game Week 2. We're going to get stuck straight in here. Well, obviously starting with the Friday night football game, and, London derby. It was eventful, but expected. West Ham shaky start away from home against Sunderland. And Chelsea, though, were quite poor. No Palmer, no problem, apparently. But I think Chelsea might be able to see that Palmer, well, I've been holding them back. João Pedro played in, I wouldn't say it was the number 10, but the lad was up front and Pedro was just in behind him. Balls. But anyway, and João Pedro played absolutely out of his skin. Esteval was actually very good. Came in late notice, very, very good. Obviously Paqueta got the game underway with an absolute scorcher of a goal. However, when I was watching it, I thought, Chelsea are rubbish. 0-0 to Palace, now losing to West Ham. And I got shut up not so long after by Pedro and Neto. Pedro and Neto, there, did you get it? Anyway, yeah, Chelsea, they did look very good. Obviously, West Ham are a team that, don't look good either. Just today, as we're recording, is a Tuesday. And they've just signed a midfielder for about 20-odd million squids. I assume he's not going to fix them single-handedly, you know what I mean? But yeah, Chelsea deserved the win. Nothing really, not anything going on there, to be honest. It's kind of expected. Chelsea won very, very comfortably. Yeah, nothing really to comment on. But we're moving on. Oh, I've got a bit on. Oh, we've got a bit on there. What happened? Right, the early kickoff. You can never back the early kickoff. As you can tell, I'm a Manchester City fan, and watching this game was painful, to say the least. I'd say this is one of the upsets of the weekend. I think Tottenham were very good. Don't get me wrong, outstanding. Thomas Frank, fantastic. However, I think Pep had that arrogance about him again, where he doesn't want to change the system or a player at half time. But when you're 2-0 down at half time, it's like you have to change something. Something's clearly not working. Well, Pep's one of the managers that doesn't like to, admit he's wrong, practically. And it ended up biting us in the bum. However, yeah, started Cherky, first game, even Trafford as well. First start at home, it's like they're young players. They shouldn't really be, put in the deep end. Wolves away, Trafford had a great game, so I guess I can see why he got played. But Cherky, no reason for him to get started over, Bernardo or something like that. Bernardo against Wolves was a good soul, alongside Gonzalez. That was the reason why Tottenham won this game, was Gonzalez just got overpowered in the midfield. Because Reinders and Cherky very attacking presences in the middle of the pack. Tottenham have got three very energetic, and just, they just run a lot. They're three midfielders can break down play and go through transitions very, very quickly. And then with no Bernardo or no one to help Gonzalez like them midfield in the first half, did end up biting us. Pep did realise that and brought Bernardo on, but then at that point, we don't need Bernardo on. 54th minute, it's like at that point we wanted Cherky on when we're 2-0 down. Roger and Foden looked very good when they came on. So City, well, that look forward to. Other than that, Thomas Frank was very good in general. They set up the wrong way, Tottenham set up the right way. Onto their chances that he didn't. It's what. No. Now. Anyway, moving on. Right, 3 o'clock games. 3 o'clock games. Let's start with Bournemouth Wolves. Again, this is expected. I expected Bournemouth to win. Sorry. Semenyo is a fantastic player. We'll just leave that there, really. Bournemouth also look very, very decent defensively. Obviously, obviously, against Liverpool in the first game, but again, that's Liverpool. Like they're probably favourites for the title, best attack in the league. You know, it's just that's bound to happen. Bournemouth created quite a lot. By his stats in, Wolves didn't, and Wolves' as far back just couldn't hang them onto the game again. I don't think there's anything really about this one that's, you know, quite a bog standard 3 o'clock game, to be honest. Right, next one, Brentford Villa. Right, this one's tasty, baby. This is an upset. I'd say this is a bigger upset than City Spurs. On the basis that Brentford got beaten heavily, have lost by Forest, and have lost many a player. You know, Novissa, Buemo's left. They've signed Utara, who obviously you get the goal and he's pretty good. Thomas Frank's gone as well. However, it seems to have done okay. Like they managed to scrape a goal somehow. I mean, look if you look at the match momentum there, it's all Villa's favour. To be honest, Villa battered them, to say the least. And XG wise, but obviously the Brentford goal was practically an open net. I think Villa should be hard done by realistically, but again they just didn't take the chances. Whether that's down to Watkins or Rodgers and stuff like that, or if it's like a tactical thing, or I mean Emery doesn't like Watkins, does he? He's not his biggest fan, I would say. But yeah, again, nothing like it's just a scrappy 1-0 win for a Brentford side. You know, a goal early and then sitting back and then realise again like this quite a boring game. Whether this one battle for relegation practically, I didn't see this coming. I mean, my prediction video will be out tomorrow, and yeah, I predict Sunderland. I predict Sunderland to win. That's all I know. And Burnley stunned them, let's say. I mean, again, Ballard went off quite early, yeah, 9th minute, but then. Other than that, I think Burnley were just a better side. There's nothing really to say. Again, it was quite even in general. Burnley took a chance when they had momentum, and again that's what the story is. Just two sides going back and forth, quite end-to-end stuff. I mean, Sunderland clearly had the upper hand in the first half, and second half Burnley started to get back into it. But other than that, even, and I think it was expected. I did not see Burnley winning 2-0 in that game after beat West Ham 3-0. But again, home games are massive in the Premier League, especially for sides like these. You know, you can't be losing a home game to a side you're challenging with. I say that, look at Spurs, we got that planned out, but Burnley were just a better side in general. Again, this is all being quite straightforward, and this is another straightforward one. Arsenal were the better team. I think, from when I was watching it, I thought Leeds actually looked pretty good to begin with. Get them much momentum here. Leeds had a very, very decent time. Yeah, look, halfway through the first half, Leeds started to get into it a bit. But then, you know, they overall power, the set piece prowess, you know, the technical ability that Arsenal held was miles better than Leeds. Saka injured, Ødegaard injured for a bit, but Timber with a brace, someone drew a captain in for fantasy. What a lunatic, but fair play. Gyökeres in a pen, rubbish really. Max Dowman as well, when he came on, did look electrifying. But again, nothing really to say about that. Arsenal were the better team. Again, like, Arsenal created a lot more. Were the like, yeah, you get where I'm coming from. Right, now Sunday's games. 2 o'clock, Palace Forest. Again, this is a draw. If you would just look at this on paper after last season, you would say, oh, 1-1, 2-2. Just naturally, both teams score goals, got bog stand like very good defences, but they're just bound to concede in these type of games. Again, I mean, clearly Palace first half, Forest second half is the moral of the story. I didn't watch this game. I chose to watch the Everton one because Jack Grealish was playing. What a player! We'll get into him in a minute. Again, just very even, very even, end-to-end stuff. Both teams had chances. Yeah, other than that, not much to it. Both teams were better. Like, there wasn't really a big chance at some. Like, it wasn't a horror decision by a ref or anything. Just no one really can complain about this. A 1-1 bog standard Palace Forest game, to be honest. Other game is, where are we? Everton at Brighton and Hove Albion. I didn't see this coming. I thought Brighton would win. I mean, I believe the XG prefers Brighton. However, you know, take the pen away that Pickford saved, and it's pretty similar. Brighton didn't hit the chances. Obviously, no Jorginho Rutter might have come back to bite them. I think that was injuries, but Daniel Welbeck isn't really a Premier League striker no more. Again, quite an end-to-end game, but Everton clearly created, you know, the more spikes, more of momentum. Brighton started to get back into it towards the back end of the second half, but you know, 2-goal Everton home state, first game in the new stadium. You know, 2 o'clock on a Sunday, it's just going to be bouncing. Jack Grealish, what a player! I mean, the James Garner strike, oh my god, what a hit! So what a hit! Indai goal was just quite well created. That Barry run off the ball was sublime stuff as well. That was really good. And Barry is better than Beto. Barry's better than Beto. Yeah, grateful. Yeah, other than that, I don't think Brighton. I mean, obviously, I think Brighton scored definitely, but Everton have got a very solid defence. Pickford saved them. Clearly saved the pen. It's his job. His job. Yeah, but see, this is the thing with Brighton though, is Brighton will lose this game, but next week they've got City at home. They'll get a point out of that or something. Or like when they've got Chelsea away, they'll get a point. It's like Brighton, one of those teams where they get magic results out of nowhere. And I think, I mean, 1 point from 2 games against Everton and Fulham isn't the best. I'm not gonna lie to you. But yeah, they've got a lot to work on, I think, in general. I think Everton are very good, but still areas for improvement. They've just signed Tyler Dibbling the other day, so how that's going to work out, and obviously in the lineups here, you're in the 10, but I can only presume Ndiaye is going to go into the 10, and then Dibbling on the right, and then Jude Hall's going to drop into probably where Tim. I'm just going to put on Tim because Tim, number 42, just there for Everton. I think he'll get dropped. He'll drop in. Yeah, other than that, pretty standard stuff. Brighton, I think the exact same team, bar Welbeck and Rutter, to be honest. Yeah, just didn't really improve from last weekend. Last weekend they scored a pen as well, so they scored 1 goal so far and it was a penalty. It's arguably a fluke. So yeah, I've got a lot to work on, especially attackingly. Defensively, I think they will be. I mean, they still have got a lot to work on, but they're more defensively sound than offensively. With, you know, Believer, if he goes, that's a big loss. I think this defensive line is actually pretty solid. And not many cracks. Same with Everton though, to be fair. Very solid back lines going back and forth. Now at 5:30, Fulham United. I mean, I was laughing, to be honest, at this game. You know, Bruno missed a pen. Now, I'm not trying to say I'm a genius, but before when he was stepping up to take the pen, I said he was going to miss. He didn't do his fancy little jump, and it paid. He paid the price. Smith Rowe, you know, it won't be just a great ball into a dangerous area. Smith Rowe was there, he timed it perfectly there at the right time. I believe Lenny Yarrow scored, but here it's down as an own goal for Muniz. But I believe Yarrow did score. Again, United, it's not working because when who came off? That's what came on for Casemiro, and then obviously so Casemiro's off, so Mount dropped down to a number 8 with Bruno, and then it was Mbeumo, Cunha, Sesko, obviously the front three, and Bruno Fernandes and Mason Mount is not a midfield partnership. It's not. They're both very attacking players. It's just about working, and yeah, he tried changing it for Ugarte, but you know, I don't think Ugarte got settled in time, and Smith Rowe hurt them. He just hurt them. Yeah, I don't think either team. I think a point's fair, in my opinion. I think a point is quite fair. However, Fulham, I think a point's fair, but either team could have won. In reality, if chances were taken or took or whatever the verb is. Yeah, nothing much on that apart from the Bruno pen miss. United scored some. I don't even know what the goal was. Just scrappy header, scrappy in the box. You know, Calvin Bassey got pushed over and did a mess. And then Fulham script the goal back up from there, and then it was destined for a point each. To be quite frank, I'm not talking Thomas. Right now, the final game, Newcastle Liverpool. This is always an old timer in the Premier League, especially at St James's Park, and it did not disappoint this fixture. Obviously, I mean, Liverpool go in a goal up in the first half. Again, quite a nice goal in hindsight, but you know, a deflection, and that's where I'm looking at it. The keeper would have had it if it didn't deflect, so just a bit of luck. But you know, whatever comes around goes around. We'll get that one in a game, and they won't be complaining then. And the thing that annoyed me as a City fan, obviously I saw City lost and drop points. If Gordon doesn't get sent off, they win the game. It's that simple. They had 11 men, they would have won that game against Liverpool. It was definitely a red card, shocking tackle, never going to happen. But next time, Gordon, if you're watching this, lad, if you're doing a bit higher, maybe put Van Dijk out for a couple months. That would be really good. Then Akatike scored, very very nice finish. Again, a bit of luck from Gakpo, deflected right into his path again, and he's notched it on for Akatike. And then Bruno Guimaraes started the fight back. Very, very good header, by the way, from Bruno Guimaraes. Very good header. And then the 88th minute from Will Asula was very, very. It was quite a scrappy game. I mean, all the goals anyway. You know, a header, a deflection, a couple bounce backs, and then Nick Pope hoofed it up. Canate was distracted by Danbird. I don't know if you could see, you know, where the ball was over Danbird's cranium. But and then Asula found himself through on goal, knocked it past Alisson, who was quite in no man's land. And then I thought that was it. I'm not gonna lie. I thought that was it. I thought it would have been 2-2. And then Mo Salah again on FPL. I can't stand him. Last week he got a goal in the last minute, and now he's got an assist in the last minute. He's scraping by on FPL him. But I mean, great finish from him. I don't know how you pronounce his name. I'm gonna call him Rio. How you pronounce his name? Roma. I had Gakpo in my fantasy, so guessing, you know what I mean. That saved my weekend, to be honest. But yeah, Liverpool deserved to win. I think it's in the balance, really. I think Newcastle should have won, but Gordon's red card hurt them, to say the least. Other than that, though, quite an even game. I think Newcastle could have got at least a point out of it. I think Liverpool would consider themselves lucky to get all three. Liverpool next week, we've got Arsenal at home, though, and that's going to be an absolute corker of a game. However, Arteta always makes those games boring. It'll be a 1-0 win with a set piece for them. So, you know, I can only see it happening. So yeah, but right, I mean, other than that, that is that for the roundup for game week 2. My reactions to my predictions will be out tomorrow, and then in a couple of days, probably out on Friday will be my predictions for Gameweek 3. Like that. Make sure to, just like and subscribe so you don't miss one of them. Make sure to turn the notification bell on, and in the description will be my Twitch and TikTok links. Make sure to go drop them a follow. And other than that, we'll run out.